Are you ready to learn something new tonight? I hope you are, because somebody recently asked me to share more recipe ideas that they could use at home for healthy and delicious meals for themselves and their families. One way that I like to cook healthy and delicious meals is to use vegetables. One vegetable I like to cook is Brussels sprouts. Welcome to another session of ZigZagNutrition in the kitchen, and it's time to get cooking. I hope you enjoyed this video on an interesting and innovative way to cook Brussels sprouts at home that are both delicious and nutritious. Tell me what you think. Boy, do I have a new trick to show you up my sleeve today. Welcome to another session of ZigZagNutrition in the kitchen, and today I am going to show you an interesting way to cook Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts, yes, Brussels sprouts. One of my favorite vegetables on the planet. The little baby cabbage, as they like to say. Now, this is the Brussels sprout box of frozen Brussels sprouts that I'll be cooking tonight. And if you look at the package, it says lightly sauced or lightly buttered. Now, even though this package says lightly sauced and lightly buttered, I'm going to turn around to the nutrition facts label and actually look at what to see what that means. And it says Brussels sprouts and a sauce that, well, includes water, sugar, salt, modified cornstarch, lactic acid, paprika, some extra coloring, whey powder, soybean oil, butter, salt, xanthan gum, and who knows what else. So I read off the ingredient list, and now I'm going to read off some of the nutrition facts. So I know this as a registered dietitian, Brussels sprouts are really good for me for so many different things. Whether it's iron or digestive health to help me stay regular with the beneficial fiber that Brussels sprouts have, or even vitamin C. Did you know Brussels sprouts were high in vitamin C? They are, and I'll show you. Let's see. All right, so if I look at the nutrition facts label right here on this back panel, on this side panel of the box, I'm going to go up here to see the serving size that says 2/3 of a cup of frozen or a half cup prepared of Brussels sprouts provides me with 90% of my day's amount of vitamin C. Well, look at that. Did you know that? I didn't know that. 90% in 2/3 of a cup. And I'll probably eat this whole box because I love Brussels sprouts so much. All right. So it's also high in potassium as well. And like I said, it's low calorie and high in iron, high in protein, and really good for your digestive health with that good fiber too, okay? So, like I said, I have an interesting way for us to cook these Brussels sprouts, but I talked to you about a little bit of all the sauce and added ingredients here. Well, one way that I like to get rid of those added ingredients, if I bought this at the store and I just want the food in its authenticity, just by itself, just Brussels sprouts fresh, well, what I do is I actually rinse them off in the sink. So I use a strainer like this, and I'll rinse the Brussels sprouts off. I'll use a strainer, run some water, and I've already strained these guys off a little bit, okay? Now what I'm going to do to season them up, because I want them seasoned a little bit, but I also will just eat them by themselves once they're cooked. I really like them best whenever they have a little bit of a char to them, and Brussels sprouts are great if you want to grill them up on the grill, skewer them on a kebab, and then roll that kebab on the grill several times for about 5 to 10 minutes on each side. And man, they're delicious if you implement them in between peppers and onions on the grill. You'd be surprised how delicious Brussels sprouts can be. But for me, I'm going to place these Brussels sprouts into a bowl tonight with some garlic powder, some black pepper, and onion powder. Now, if you're like me and you like a little bit of spice as well, you can think about adding some cayenne pepper, some crushed red pepper, or any of your other favorite seasonings. Just try to stay away from any added salt, added oils, or modified cornstarch, or any of those other preservatives in spices that you can find sometimes, like silicon dioxide or sodium benzoate, things like that. So I just now have the Brussels sprouts in a beautiful bowl, green, right? So we know that we need to eat our green foods. And, well, I'm going to use some garlic powder and just sprinkle the garlic powder all around the Brussels sprouts. And then I'm going to use the onion powder and the black pepper and do the same thing. I'm just going to coat these guys with a light coating of garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. Why do I use those ingredients? Well, because for me, I like those ingredients together because it gives it a really delicious flavor, almost as if I cooked it with onions and garlic. And I like the added spice that black pepper brings to the table as well. So I've got these Brussels sprouts coated now with a little bit of what it looks like a breadcrumb, but it's really just a spice crumb mix. And I'm just going to roll these guys around until they're thoroughly coated. And guess what? Now, I keep telling you about this interesting new way to cook Brussels sprouts. And I told you about a grill that you can use as a skewer to put them on the grill. But indoors, Brussels sprouts can smell a little bit. And maybe you need to open a window, like I have. Or you need to turn on your exhaust fan above your stovetop, for instance. Either way, you can. Or if you just want to enjoy the smell of Brussels sprouts, you can too. But I'm going to get to the point about this interesting new cooking method in just a second. I know you're dying to hear. Well, maybe you saw the waffle maker over here. Maybe you didn't, but now you have. This is a waffle maker. Am I going to make a Brussels sprout waffle? No, I could, and I have, but I won't. That's a story for another day. But what I will do is I will drop these Brussels sprouts on this heating surface, because essentially a waffle maker or a George Foreman grill is just a heating element on top and a heating element on the bottom. And each of these, when pressed, act as a panini press almost, and will be cooking the Brussels sprout or anything else on both sides of that food that you're trying to cook. And so this is an easy way for me to cook Brussels sprouts whenever maybe the stovetop is filled and I don't have any room, or I don't want to get out a bunch of pots and pans. If the waffle maker or the George Foreman is sitting on the countertop, why not use it in a new and interesting way? So listen to this. Whenever I drop these, they should be sizzling because I've had the waffle maker on and it's preheated. And I'm going to drop these onto the waffle maker, and then I'll drop the lid and let the Brussels sprouts cook through both sides of that cooking element of the waffle maker. And you may not be able to hear it, but these guys are sizzling up really well. And since I added that black pepper, the garlic and onion powder, I know that the flavor that's going to come out of these Brussels sprouts is going to be really, really delicious. I'm so excited for these Brussels sprouts, and I know that these are going to be cleaner, more natural, delicious, whole foods that I'll be able to implement in my diet to improve my health and hopefully improve my happiness over the long term, because I'm going to stay healthy and happy over my life. I'm trying to anyways, and I hope you try it too as well. So, let's drop this waffle maker. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? I can. Well, if you're at home and you have a waffle maker, you're at home and you have a George Foreman, I encourage you to try this method to cook your Brussels sprouts, to cook your vegetables, anything that you want nowadays. I use the waffle maker and the George Foreman on a regular basis. An easy, accessible, approachable way to live a happier, healthier life with really good, nutritious, and delicious food for you and your family. Try this at home. Let me know what you think.